Hey guys, it's Dylan with JTech. I'm just gonna show you guys what a dvom is. We all know what that is. Okay, a digital voltometer. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to properly hook this up for each one of the three main things that you're gonna do. You got your DC volts. Now with this thing, you're supposed to do your voltage drop test and all that good stuff, which I'm gonna show you guys how to perform. Okay, then you got your ohms right here to ohm out things. Then you got your amps right here for DC. People always put them in, AC, but that's not how you get a proper reading. You always put it in DC, and then I also have a milliamps. Most people do as well. Now, in order to hook it up for voltage, you're going to take your common black or your negative. It's your common. You're going to put it into your common black, your common negative right here. See right here where it says common? That's where you're always going to leave your negative. Now, to do volts, which on mine it says right here V for volts, AC and DC. There's my ohm, my milliamps, and that's it. My milliamps actually works through here, believe it or not. So then I put it here, you just push it in nice and tight. So with this set like this, to do volts, you switch it to volts. See? Bam, everything's in volts. To do ohms, you're going to switch it all the way down to ohms. Right now it says overload, but if I'm going to test my fuse for my DC amperage right here, I'm just going to put it in right there. Now you're going to look. There we go. See, that's a good fuse. It's a good fuse. Okay. Now I'm going to hook up this board, and then I'm going to show you guys how to our dvom setup. And like I showed you guys before, I have it. My dvom, I have volts, ohms, milliamps. I don't know if you can really see that. There you go. Milliamps, ohms, and then volts. So first thing we're going to be checking is volts. You always want to do DC. Most vehicles are in DC. Now what we're going to do is set my dvom. Here we go. Let me understand that I'm not messing with you. Now your volts is always going to continue to rise, and the reason why it does that, so it doesn't burn an image into your dvom. To stop it, you just go to off, turn it back on. What you're going to do is you're going to check from right here, or actually, it doesn't really matter in DC. You touch positive here, and you're positive there. Now, what we got is 13.71. I have this set to regulate it up here, which is at 13.8, which means we have resistance in here, or we have voltage being used. Obviously, we have resistance in the light bulb. Obviously. Now, that's how you check for volts. Now, in order to ohm things out, you actually have to isolate it. In order to isolate this, I'm not going to use this light bulb because, believe it or not, when you use a light bulb, when it gets hot, the ohms actually continues to rise. The hotter it gets, the more resistance you have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the one below it, since it's an ice cold bulb. So in order to check this, first you're going to set this to ohms. Now right here, this little tip is your positive, and the side is your negative, or your ground. So in order to check this, you're going to take your common ground, you're going to place it right here, put your little thumb over it. And when you do that, you're just going to put your thumb, hold it into place. You're just going to touch the tip. And then look at it. As you do that, there you go. 6.2 ohms. Okay, that's not bad. And let me show you guys what I was talking about with heat and it rising. So we're just going to take this and put this here and then here. It says overload because it's not isolated. When you go to ohm something out and it says overload on it, it means it's not isolated, man. So in order to isolate it, just disconnect the bulb. Now, same thing here. Boom, boom, and then boom. If I can keep it on there. Now remember, it was on, and it is warm. Now see the difference in the heat? The heat actually created. As it cools down, it'll start dropping. There it goes. Over time, it will drop all the way back down to normal. So anyway, you put your light bulb back in. I'm going to show you guys how to check amps. Now, on my meter, and most meters, believe it or not, you have a different setting, and you have to move your positive over. For my meter, you know, luckily for me, when I want to do milliamps, believe it or not, all I have to do is set it to either AC or DC milliamps. In this case, I'm going to set it to DC milliamps and see what I get. I'm just going to place this here. Now, in order to check amperage, you got to place it in series. You got to make sure the power runs through your meter. Now, in order to do that, it sounds crazy, but you just disconnect this, you isolate it, take a positive, put it here, right? Seems simple. Now watch this. Uh-oh. That means it has too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch it to 10 amps. Now we're going to put this back. Now that it's set to 10, believe it or not, it should work just fine. There it goes. 2.9. You know, that's not bad, believe it or not. For amperage draw, or parasitic draw, however you want to look at it. Actually, it's two different things.